You're welcome to this session. It is lesson 4 on unit 5. Still, we are under exchange rate. The lesson is Forex liberalization. It is Forex liberalization. Forex liberalization. Yes, having Forex reserves. Forex reserves. And Forex control. This lesson is still under foreign exchange rates. We normally use the word Forex to shorten foreign exchange. So it is foreign exchange liberalization, foreign exchange reserves, and foreign exchange control. There are 3 terms here we are going to see. And as I said in the prior lessons that we are having together, I said what is important is your maximum attention and cooperation, and make sure we go together so that you understand. I might not exhaust everything that is in here, but if you get what is within, what is the matter within the content, within, of course, the term or the concept, then as you're revising independently, you will be able to understand clearly wherever you are revising from or wherever you are making research from. Forex liberalization, let's start with it. Liberty. The word liberty, who can tell us what it means? That is freedom. Thank you very much. That means that it is the freedom to determine or to exchange currencies by individuals or different organizations. Who gives the freedom? It is, of course, the government. Where people are fighting for freedom, then that means they are fighting for it from the government. So this time around here, they are not fighting for it, but the government decides to give liberty to people to exchange currencies with little or no government intervention. So Forex liberalization is all about giving freedom to private players, that is individuals, organizations, and companies to convert currencies freely with limited or minimal government interference. Now, before we very much continue, we can have the lesson objectives. By the end of the lesson, we should be able to distinguish the 3 terms and actually to explain them with ease without any difficulty. Or we should also be able to explain why there is need for Forex control or foreign exchange control, as we shall be seeing. And of course, as we explain, you will be able to know or to explain actually to understand and also give the arguments for and against Forex control and Forex liberalization. We are having Forex reserves. You will be able to understand what Forex reserves are and, of course, what is the use for Forex reserves. As I had said, I said Forex liberalization is just the removal. It is either total or removal of barriers towards the free convertibility of the currency. Government allows the private people to take part in converting the currencies without much hindrance or without much government interference. How is it done? It can be done by, for example, allowing, if we reflect in the forms of exchange rate, we saw the floating exchange rate system, or at times it is called the flexible exchange rate system. It is flexible because it allows the free convertibility of the currency without government interference. So the government can decide to liberalize by letting the free forces of demand and supply to determine the value of its currency in relation to other countries' currencies. Then also, it can decide also to liberalize the convertibility of the currency by operating the mixed exchange rate system or the managed exchange rate system, where there is little government interference in regulating the flexibility in the exchange rate system. As we saw in the different forms, so the government can give people liberty through floating exchange, allowing the free convertibility of the currency by the forces of demand and supply, or it can regulate a little bit, but much lets the free convertibility of the currency to operate, but within the limits. That is also part of currency liberalization. Now, if we liberalize the foreign exchange markets, what would be the good thing with it or the bad thing with it? We're just going to have a sample of few points. In our mind, as long as we have said that with Forex liberalization, governments removes barriers through the free convertibility of the currency, allows individuals to take part in converting currencies or exchanging currencies, then we shall enjoy so many benefits. For example, it will attract many investors from outside to set up businesses, and even our people will set up businesses. We have always had or seen what we call Forex bureaus. They are businesses engaging the converting of different currencies. You can always visit them. Some of us from the villages, maybe we might not be able to access them. Some live by the border, near the border posts in different parts of the country. Some are living in towns, at least which are a little bit developed. There are different Forex bureaus. If one time you saw it somewhere and maybe you thought that it is a restaurant, it is not. There is the business of exchanging currencies. So government gives freedom to people to exchange currencies. It attracts many investors. It also creates more employment opportunities to people, those who operate in such businesses. It encourages people to participate in business because they can easily convert currencies, buy commodities outside for resale in the country. They can as well engage in economic activities because they can easily exchange the currencies without any government interference. However, if the government liberalizes the Forex market, what will happen to a negative part of it? The free convertibility of the currencies will bring a little bit some kind of fluctuations. And where there are fluctuations, it distorts government programs. And also, government can fail to track the changes in its currency relative to other countries' currencies. And that also hinders government programs and planning. And also, it might undermine the local country's currency because people will have to lose confidence in it. If we reflect back in the previous lesson about the forms of currency exchange rate, we gave in an example of currency appreciation and currency depreciation, which normally happen because of the free convertibility of the currency, that is by the forces of demand and supply. Where there is currency depreciation, continuously, the currency loses value in relation to the trading partners' currencies. What will happen then? People will lose confidence in it. Not only the nationals, but also the foreigners who are supposed to come and invest in our country. They will always want to invest in a country where they have, of course, higher value currency that will give them higher returns at the end of it all. So the investors will be scared away from foreign countries, and also our people would start shifting their capital to invest in other countries' currencies where there is a higher value currency, to invest in other countries, where there is high value for their currency. That leads to capital flight. It is in form of profit repatriation, where most people are employed or who operate these Forex bureaus are foreigners. They always take back the made profits to develop their home countries. And that would deter the development progress of our country. Secondly, our own people would no longer want to invest in their country, but rather invest in other countries where the value of the currency is slightly higher than their own currency. We can have different advantages and disadvantages of Forex liberalization. What should be in our mind is government reducing or lessening the restrictions or barriers that concern the Forex market to allow the free forces of demand and supply to determine the rates in the Forex market. If there is government intervention, it's just minimal, but largely allowing private people to take part in the convertibility of the currencies. Then we have the second term is Forex reserves. We have said that Forex is a simple or short term for foreign exchange. Then that means it is foreign exchange reserves. What do you think are foreign exchange reserves? Foreign exchange reserves refer to the assets held by the country's monetary authority, that is the central bank, in form of gold, in form of foreign currency, in form of special drawing rights as normally provided by the IMF. I'm saying these are assets held by the country's monetary authority, which is the central bank, in form of gold, in form of foreign currencies, and in form of the special drawing rights. The special drawing rights being an international acceptable financial asset that is normally provided by the IMF to its member countries to supplement the official reserves of a given country. So most members actually of the IMF, they have what we call the special drawing rights, as normally abbreviated as the SDRs. That is a financial asset that is normally provided or authorized by the IMF to its member countries to, of course, supplement the official reserves of any given country. So the reserves, we are keeping money of different countries, currencies. We are having the gold reserves, and at the same time having these special drawing rights. Now the question would be, why? For what? Why are we having these Forex reserves? Now, Forex reserves are very much useful. Now, take an example. We have dollars, maybe we have euros, we have the Japanese yen, we have the Tanzanian shillings, the Ugandan shillings, the Kenyan shillings. We are having different countries' currencies kept with Benin. Now, what for? What do you think? There are many reasons why we need these reserves. First of all, we can say they will help us to settle public debts. As we had seen in the previous lessons, we said that countries, especially the developing countries, we rely at a certain point on resources from outside. The resources can be in form of loans. The resources can be in form of grants. Now let's take an example of loans. If we get loans, we are not given in our own currency. In most cases, we are given in foreign currencies. And once to pay back, we need to pay back in foreign currencies. So the Forex reserves are used to pay back the public debt, to settle the public debts. Public debts. We want to pay back the public debts, we use the reserves. We are hiring foreign expatriates, we need to pay them. We need to pay them, and not, in most cases, we pay them in the internationally acceptable currencies. Therefore, we need these Forex reserves to pay the foreign expatriates. We need them in different departments or in different sectors of the economy, since at a certain point we lack skilled manpower to perform different activities. Therefore, we have to hire the foreign expatriates who are not normally, for example, paid using francs, but the internationally acceptable currencies. Then they are also used to fund official missions abroad. They are also used to fund official missions abroad. The visits, ministerial visits, the presidential visits, we need these reserves to cater for their transport and different other expenses that are done outside. Then we also use these Forex reserves also to invest outside the country. Government has got different investments in outside countries. So we need also to finance investments in other countries, because we shall not need our own francs to invest, for example, in Zambia or Zimbabwe or elsewhere. We shall need other currencies, especially, for example, currencies of that country, a currency of that country, or generally the international acceptable currencies like the dollars, like the euros, and different other currencies. If we are to say, we can think about different other ways or other reasons why we hold these reserves. As I said in the beginning, we are not exhausting everything here. We are just giving a clue, a hint to open up your mind, to think wider, and ask yourself, if we are having reserves, what are they for? So this is just a sample. There are many others you can think about why we need the Forex reserves in our country. Now the question would be, other than the uses of Forex reserves, why are we having shortage of Forex reserves? We have little Forex reserves. We have little of other currencies. in our reserve funds in Benin, for example, if I would say, why are we having Forex shortages? Why are we not having much foreign exchange? Why are we not having more inflows coming into our country? There are so many reasons why we're having Forex shortages in our country. If you can think hard, then you can give several points. We are going to have a sample here, and you can as well think of the different other causes that bring about Forex shortages. In our mind, the Forex reserves, these are assets in form of foreign currencies, in form of gold, and the special drawing rights that are kept with the central bank, for example, and other international financial institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. The shortage of Forex reserves is explained by different reasons or factors, for example. We have a narrow export base. Narrow export base. The narrow export base, that means that we have few items that we are exporting. If we are exporting few items, then we're earning less, and therefore we are reserving less. Then we also have an issue of importing expensive capital goods. Expensive capital goods. Hope we know capital goods. Yes? Capital goods are goods that are used to produce other goods. We import machinery, which we cannot manufacture in our country. And yet we need a lot of funds to import them, which means we are taking much of the little we have been having. We spend it outside, and we remain with little. We keep little within our treasury. So we import expensive commodities that normally drain the Forex reserves. We are having another issue of insecurity. We are seeing these problems in RODCs, not particularly in Rwanda. Some will apply to our country, some will not. But for the general picture of why most RODCs are having Forex shortages, let's have them here. There is a problem of insecurities in RODCs. Insecurities and instabilities. How are they now draining our Forex reserves? Or how are they denying us to have much of the foreign exchange reserves? First, the insecurity scares away potential investors. Then that means that foreign investors who would be bringing in capital inflow will be scared, and they won't have, of course, the confidence to come and invest in a country where there is insecurity. Their property and their lives are at stake. So the insecurities scare away potential investors, that is foreign investors, which means that we are also reducing on the avenues of earning foreign exchange. That would be reserved with our bank. Also, at the same time, because of insecurities, governments normally spend much on importing arms and ammunitions to calm down the insecurities and bring peace in the entire economy. So too much expenses as far as importation of funding, of course, the military activities to bring back peace in the economy would also drain the little foreign exchange reserves that we are having. There is also a lot of, there is poor technology, the poor technology that hinders us from exploiting the idle resources to increase the volumes of exports so as to earn much from the exports that we are having. And at the same time, there is also frequent devaluation programs by most developing countries that makes our commodities cheaper and therefore earning less from the foreign market, or earning less from the commodities that we should be exporting. There is also a problem of high population growth. High population growth. When we talk of high population growth, it brings about a problem of Forex shortages in a way that the little we produce at home is mainly consumed because we cannot export all and we remain with nothing. Therefore, whatever we produce mostly is for home consumption. And therefore, if we consume it, we have little to export. Leave alone that, they are not enough. If the commodities are not enough, then we have to go ahead and import to support the alarming population. So we would spend more. The reserves we are having are used to import to support the alarming population. There are different reasons why we have Forex shortages. I think we are moving together. Forex reserves, these are assets held in form of foreign exchange, that is form of foreign currencies or currencies from other countries, the gold and special drawing rights that are kept with the central bank. Here are some of the points and different others as you make research saying or talking about why you have Forex shortages in our countries. Now we have Forex control. Forex control. What is Forex control now? We have finished the two terms. Now let's see these as the last term, Forex control. I still say Forex is talking about foreign exchange. That is controlling the foreign exchange rate by the government. When we talk of control, to control, that means to regulate or to intervene by the government on the free convertibility of the currencies. So this means that with Forex control, it is the act by the government to reduce or to take part in the convertibility of the currencies or exchange of currencies, and of course limiting the free convertibility of the currencies, or to remove the free forces of demand and supply, or actually to reduce the forces of demand and supply in the act of exchanging currencies in the Forex market. How does it control? It can as well control, for example, using the fixed exchange rate system, as we said prior. Fixed exchange rate system, the rate of one currency against the other is determined entirely by the government. There is no any parallel rate that is supposed to be allowed. It's done by the government. Or we can also have the mixed or the managed exchange rate system, where the government intervenes in the free convertibility of the currencies. There is free forces of demand and supply, and government has to regulate within the limits. So if it is done, this is full control, then this is partial control. And the government can as well also only allow registered or licensed government institutions to exchange the currency. And of course, that means that nobody on an individual basis is supposed to exchange currencies other than the government allowing it. So the government controls the free convertibility of currencies. Why? We have reasons for foreign exchange rate control. The rationale for exchange control. If we talk of the rationale for foreign exchange rate control, it means we are seeing the reasons why government should come in to control. Yet here we had seen Forex liberalization, but government now wants to control the free convertibility of the currencies. Reason being here, it's because it wants to reduce the fluctuations in the market. Where there is Forex liberalization, or where there is forces of demand and supply determining the value of the currency, it means that the currency can appreciate, the currency can depreciate. Now, because of these fluctuations, there is lack of confidence in the country's currency, because there is no stability. By foreign investors, they are not assured of the stability in the country's economy. So government comes in to control the fluctuations. Government also wants to come in and also, of course, bring about stable investments, stable planning, so as to promote economic growth and development. Because once it sets in the rules, the regulations, laws and regulations, then that means that at least for a given period of time, they will say $1, for example, to be costing 1,200 francs. Which means that in this case here, if they say for a given period of time, maybe let it be 3 months, maybe let it be 6 months, but at least it will not be changing day in and day out. That increases the confidence in the country's economy by both local and foreign investors, and that will promote exploitation of idle resources, that will promote confidence, that will promote investments, and that is bringing about assurance to both the government and the private people about their stability in their earnings and planning. If government controls, then there is stability. There is easy planning by the government. There is attraction of investors because there is a lot of confidence. They know their incomes will be will be stable for a given period of time. Their inflows will be stable for a long period of time. However, some people will be discouraged because they need such competition to bring about efficiency. We know where there is no competition in most cases, they won't mind about efficiency in service delivery. So it will discourage efficiency or to bring about inefficiencies in the market because there is no, there is no competition. Because government is intervening, nobody is competing with the government or with anybody. There is a lot of inefficiency. And there is also a lot of corruption. And of course, embezzlement. If I would say corruption comes in a way that if the government will provide the foreign exchange, then people are not on their individual basis allowed to get foreign exchange unless they contact the government authorized agencies. So some other people would have to be swindling and giving to different people because they have been given in something to provide the foreign exchange that they deserve. And where there is government control, there is smuggling. People would always smuggle because they cannot easily access the foreign exchange to buy commodities from outside. So they smuggle and exchange. And of course, that reduces government revenues and brings down domestic industries. There are many points we can talk about, but we can say, as long as the three terms are clear for us, this is where government reduces the restrictions in the free convertibility of the currency, that is Forex liberalization. There is foreign exchange reserves, that is assets in form of foreign currencies, in form of gold, in form of special drawing rates kept by the monetary authority and international financial institutions. Then Forex control is government restricting or controlling or regulating the free convertibility of the currency by removing or reducing the forces of demand and supply in the foreign exchange market. The crew will be helpful to you when you are making your own research, when you're discussing together as class members and in different ways of revising. I will always encourage you to make research for more understanding. This is just giving you the way to understand what the concepts are all about or what the unit is all about. I refer you to book 6 for Rwanda education, Rwanda schools economics books, 161 to 164 for research, activities, and end unit assessment for testing to see whether you have mastered from this lesson we have had and from your own research. And you can visit REB e-learning, of course, platform as provided in this slide here for you to understand. For sure, allow me to say your active involvement was a good motivation towards the success of my lesson. Surely, meet you soon. Thank you very much.